Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the workbench here. I have another video of some projects I'm going to go ahead and show you. Quite a bit of overflow, keep that in mind, so I'm going to probably have to stretch this video again out. I really don't like doing the 1 or 2 part videos. I like to be able to show everything at once, but just because of how long these videos end up going, because of all the detail I show on these cars, they usually end up stretching, but this one will more than likely be 1 or 2 parts. But I'll try to fit as much as I can in this video and keep it relatively short. But we'll go ahead and get started. A lot of graffiti projects, a lot of custom weathering. Most of the stuff is mine, again, just because I'm trying to build up a modern fleet, selling off some of the older cars I have and replacing with newer ones. So I've been keeping pretty busy on these. As you'll see, I have quite a few interesting projects. But I'm going to go ahead and start this video with a customer project of mine that I'm doing. Setting aside the trash cars for a little while, I've been working on a CSX GP38 for another customer who models the early CSX days, chassis, shortly after the chassis system merger. What we got here so far is the CSX 2180 prior to being repainted. You can see I've done some patching on it so far. I've started putting the little warning labels and special decals on it, detailing it according to prototype photos and stuff like that. I had to rework the pilots on this too, being an Atlas model. I had to do a couple modifications to it, put all the truck details on it, and you can see I just started weathering it so far. Got the relocated bell, the new fans, all that, darkened grills, etc. Complete fade down, but still a lot of work to do, but it's starting to come along a little bit. I'm just going to show this a little bit now. I'll of course show it again later on when it's complete, but it's starting to come along. It's a nice little project I've been working on here and there when I get the time. But it'll be done here pretty soon, probably another week or 2 of work and it should be there. But like I said, another customer project I'm doing. This will be going back out the door here pretty soon, but there's a little progress shot of this. Just so you guys, any of you who model early CSX days, this is for you. There you go. So yeah, that's CSX 2180. And another car I'll go ahead and show here is another car that I've been working on. This is a WLPX ACF covered hopper. And you can see I did some halo effects on the rust on the sides with some acrylic paints, and then I did the special graffiti work with paint pens on the sides. I did these also some photos. As you can see, put the stripes on this bad boy as well. See, it's a little bit more heavily weathered than the last ones I've done, especially on the roof here. I did some dry brushing effects and darkened the walkways as always, and put a little bit of a wash on the ends, replaced the couplers, the whole 9 yards. And then on this side, this one side here, I saw this tag on a real car recently. It was another center flow, not the exact same car, but I saw this exact tag and I had to copy it, so I did. Trump, make America great again. Really, really cool. Someone painted that on the side. These are really common right now, but yep, fun car to do. You can see. Not too crazy on the weathering though, but just a lot of experimentation with some new paint pens. I've got some oil paint pens I'm working with to do these graffiti effects like these. So really simple car, but looks pretty cool. It's a nice modern car. I have, let's see, which one I'm going to show first here. I have an interesting car that I worked on here also. I recently got this from a friend on Facebook on one of the sale group. This is an IBT box car I did recently. You can see I got the weathering on it. Got the custom painted graffiti that looks really, really nice. Got some door scratches on this side. All kinds of smaller tags done with the paint pens. And by the way, the paint pens I use for these fine tags here are Sharpie paint pens like these, the oil paints. And let me tell you, these work so much better than trying to hand paint all this little scribble on the sides with the brush. That takes so much time. This you can just literally write it on. And it's very convenient. It works very well. Anyways, that's what I did on this side. You can see, put all the grime and everything on it. The roof came out pretty good. You got the rust on the top panels and on the sills here. Typical weathering on the trucks, underbody, typical manner of weathering there. Put the safety striping on there. I replaced the couplers, added the, I think those are, what are they? I think they're high-tech details, the rubber air hoses. I put those on this car as well to spruce up the detail a little bit. This is a Walther's car, so I wanted to put a little extra detail on it since I was doing it this far. But it's a nice modern box car, you can see. Got the graffiti on this side as well, all hand-painted. As you can see, looks very nice. Very happy with it. So that's a neat little project I worked on. The graffiti on this particular car took me like 8 or 9 hours to do. It's very time consuming, but it looks very good once you get it all done and put that level of detail in it. It's a nice modern box car I can put in my fleet. And especially these boxcars at West, they just get plastered graffiti, so it's important to model stuff like this. And just an FYI, I will be posting a video on how to do some graffiti like this in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, we'll go ahead and set that aside. That's the IBT boxcar. It looks really, really nice. And the next car I did, if I can set that down without it falling, is another really cool car. This is an NOKL patch out, you can see on this car. I've done cars like this before, but it's pretty much the similar manner. What you do, you take the car out of the box, dull coat it down, then I masked off the area for the patches by covering all the stock painted car body and car data, masked all that off, and then painted the new bright red patches onto the sides and then re-decaled it like this, and then put a gloss coat on it, then peeled the masking off and then finished the weathering, is how I did this effect. And it looks very, 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 very cool. You can see put the safety stripe on there as well, but it's a very relatively clean car, and it covers up all the old graffiti that was under there. You see a lot of patch outs like this these days, so it's good to model cars like this as well. There's a quick top shot there. Typical weathering on the roof here with the acrylic paints, and then following behind with the oil paints, letting those dry, and then following behind with some chalk pestles to kind of mix up the effects and add a little bit of texture as well. But a nice fun little project car. This one took me a little while to do just because of all the painting and masking I had to do. But it looks really good. There's a little bit of graffiti on this side too that I did with the paint pen as well. And then there's the wheels, which I think really look nice. Yeah, the patching on the side there. It's a really nice car there. You can see it's another nice modern box car. The patching really adds a nice bit of flair too, I think, compared to a lot of my other box cars, which are just grime buckets or covered in graffiti. So, nice car. Really happy with how that came out. But like I said, I got these two off of a friend of mine, and so these are pretty much good to go, ready to go into service on my road. Okay, let me see. I guess I'll go ahead and show you guys this one next. This is the first F-box car that I've done. I got 3 of these, which I have 2 over here that still need to be worked on. I also have this BNSF car I'm working on 2 that I'll get around to later. But anyways, I got these 3 in a set together, and this is the first one I've completed. I did this one off of some photos, so you can see I got all the hand-painted graffiti on this side, all the fine tags, the weathering on the sides, on the door, some scribbles here and there, the graffiti work, and then of course the truck weathering, as you can see. And then on the roof, not too crazy, but a little bit of oxidation going on there at the top. Just starting to, but it's these TTX boxcars are always fun to do, but it can be a bit challenging painting this graffiti on the sides, especially being that they're completely, pretty much a waffle-sided boxcar where it has all these ribs. It's a bit hard to paint over that. It can be a little time-consuming, but you can still get it to look pretty good, the graffiti anyways. You can see I did this side with some gang scribble and some gang tags, and on this side you can see I did a little bit more style kind of graffiti, some small tags, and then the stuff here on the side, all hand painted. This one took me a little while as well. It took me a couple hours to do, but it looks pretty good. That's the first one I've completed. This one just recently got sealed up with some dull coat, so I still got to do the others, but this is the first one I got. You can see this is the progress I've gotten, but once these are all done, I'll be able to post some photos of all 3 of them on Facebook, and then I'll have another video of some of the other ones that I get done later. But that's a nice little project car, you can see. Looks pretty good. Nice example of graffiti. Oh, also you can see I put the safety stripes over it. It's important to model the, when they put the safety stripes over it, they'll sometimes put the safety striping directly over the graffiti, or they'll put these primer patches in black or gray, or even the similar car body color like a yellow or something, and then put the stripes over it like this, as you can see. So that's a nice little effect that I like to do on these cars. So yeah, that's the TTX car. That's the first one anyways. It's an exact rail car, and I like to snag these up when I can. I actually got those in set for $100, which is really, really cool. So that's really nice. But yeah, I'll post some more pictures of the other cars once they're done, but that's the first one so far. You can see it looks pretty good. So I'll go ahead and move these aside, and real quickly I'll go ahead and bring some other interesting project cars into the shot here. The first one I have is a CEFX patch coal hopper. Now these are some I've wanted to do for some time. I've seen these prototypically out in real life. They run on the DEX coal trains out of the Powder River Basin that run between Colorado and Detroit, I believe. Anyways, the thing about these coal hoppers, these modern Bethgons, is they get an interesting weathering effect on the side of this rust halo or this rust spray on the sides that makes the car body look like it's painted like a rust color. And it's something interesting. It's a very interesting effect I've wanted to do. So what I did with this particular car and the other one, which I'll show in a minute, was I airbrushed this grime onto the sides with an airbrush. And then I did the patching on the sides like this, cleaned it up. Now, something else that's really interesting about it, when they do these cars and they put the safety striping on the sides, what they'll do is they'll take a grinder and sand down the sides down to bare metal and then put the safety striping over them. So I know it's kind of hard to see, but you can see the little spots where they ground down the metal and put the safety striping over it, like that. I think that's an interesting little effect. It was kind of an experiment I wanted to do with these cars, but it came out really, really good. I'm really happy with them. I did some gang scribble on this side too. I added the custom coal load, as you can see, on the into the interior of the car as well. The ends came out really good. You can see the kick-up spray, all that just spraying all over the ends there, coming up from the wheels, which pretty much protrude off the ends here. So all that's just spraying up on the sides. So it's really important to just coat the hell out of the interior there on these coal hoppers. So it's a nice little effect you get. On this side, a little bit simpler, but still pretty much the same effect with the ground down spots for the striping, and then the plastered rust effect on the sides here. Really nice car though. It's a really nice effect. I'm glad I did this. The experiment went pretty well. And then on the blue end, or the rotary dump end, you can see the kick up, especially on these ends, which I did with the mixture of the airbrush, and then I followed behind with the brush and chalk effects, and then also did the spray, or the spots and splatter, with my traditional method of taking a paintbrush against a stiff object and then splattering the wet paint onto the end like that. Looks really good. Also added the KDs to these cars as well, since they had the crappy Accumate couplers from Atlas. But that's the first one. This is the first car, CEFX 43732. The second one here is my favorite, I think, out of both of them. This one came out really good. You can see it's got a very heavy grime cover compared to the other one here. You can see it's a lot heavier. But pretty much a similar manner as the first one. Clean patches, and then the bright, shiny, clean spots for the safety stripes, which look really, really cool. You can see how nice that looks. It looks just like the prototypes. You guys can look up these cars on railroadpicturearchives.net, and you can be the judge and compare them. But I think I nailed them in this particular case. I'm very happy with them. The trucks also came out really nice. You can see the clean rims, rusty trucks, grime, and everything else on there. It looks really nice. And on this end, the kick-up, this side, you can see, pretty much about the same. Really happy with them though. I really like these. Came out really nice. So these will be some cars for now that I'll just be kind of throwing into a mixed manifest, just to kind of have some interesting cars to mix things up a bit. But I'm very happy with them. I really like them. Go ahead and move these out real quick. Oh, I did this, all this graffiti on this side as well, you can see. Really like that. Looks really cool. Typical gang scribble. So yeah, that's the two CFX coal hoppers. Really like those. Like I said, they came out really nice. And those are some nice project cars. I got to post some photos on these on Facebook still. Probably on my Facebook group and then some other groups there later on. But those are some nice little project cars I've been working on for the last couple weeks. So go ahead and set those aside. To kind of finish up this video, I'll go ahead and show you guys one more car here for the first part. And this is going to be a really interesting car I did. This is one I've been working on for quite some time. This is an SRN patch-out box car. As you can see, lots of work, lots of time went into this particular car, from patching it, fading it down, doing all the rust, doing all the custom painted graffiti on the sides, repatching it, stenciling it, putting the safety stripes on it, doing all the rust spotting, rust effects, rust streaking, all the effects. It was very, very time consuming, and a lot of work went into this car. Countless hours, I can say, went into it, but it just looks phenomenal. I'm very happy with it. The trucks came out really, really well. The underbody did as well. Got the high-tech details air hoses on there as well on both ends. The trucks, like I said, came out very nicely. But all the graffiti is hand painted, as you can see. All kinds of rust effects, fading effects. Faded the whole car down with the airbrush first, and then did all the grime and rust effects with my dry brushing effects, followed by with chalk pastels, did all the oil paint effects and everything. Really a lot of time went into it. It's a very nice car though, I'm very happy with it. There's all the rest on the roof that I did with the oil paints and the chalks and the acrylics, as you can see. There's the first end, and the second end. See all the rust spots on the ribs and the panels. Looks very nice. And on this side, again, all the custom painted graffiti. New car data stencils added, the safety striping with the primer patches added over it, as you can see. And then the patches. All the little graffiti, hobo tags and everything. All done. Even some little patches here and there based on some prototype photos, but you can see there's quite a bit done in this car. I mean, I don't even know where to start. Like I said, just all kinds of little effects to get it to where it is. I was literally working on this thing for weeks to get it just right, but I'm very happy with the effects and how it turned out. It's a very, very nice car. It's one of my favorite short line box cars right now. It looks just amazing. It's sexy as hell. It really does. It looks really nice. But that's been like my project of the month right here, is just completing this car. I've been working on it for so long. I'm just glad to get it done, and it looks really, really nice. But I'll definitely be holding on to this one for quite some time. It's just a very nice car, and I really love it. I'm very happy with it. So that's the SRN box car, as you guys can see. A lot of time went into it, and I'm very happy with it. But that's one of the best short line box cars representations I've done in quite some time. Like I said, very happy with it. But those are the first couple cars I've done so far. Now the next video will be covering some custom builds and some custom built cars I've done, and some modified cars, some custom paint jobs as well, and a locomotive project too. I know you guys will be interested to see. You guys can stay tuned in for the next video. Also, I'll be showing in the next, or another how-to video for later, I'll be showing, of course, these cars once they're completed, including this BNSF box car. I'll show that in another video. But for now, I'll go ahead and start working on part 2 of this video. So hopefully you guys like this so far. Stay tuned for more. Be back in a bit.